Hi, and welcome to the video about Music Block, a game influenced by the Three Musicians by Pablo Picasso from 1921, and a game made for my game theory module for 2019. The first part of the video will be my interpretation of the image, the next part will be the gameplay, and then I will leave screenshots of the blueprints and animations for the end as I don't want to ruin the flow of the gameplay. The Three Musician portrays three majestic musicians inside a plain box room. Two of these characters, the masked Period playing the clarinet on the left, and the Harlequin in the center are both stock characters of old Italian comic theatre. But in many of his works, including this one, the Harlequin represents Picasso himself. On the right, there is a monk playing sheet music, and on the bottom left, there's a barely visible dog who is sitting underneath the musicians' chairs. The jigsaw puzzle-like composition sums up the Cubist style, and the simple look of the painting is similar to the paper cut-and-paste origins of the art style. The painting was made by Picasso as a response to the piano lesson by Henri Matisse, and was made from Picasso's desire to win back the initiative and fame from Matisse. The simplistic cubic style, the strong desire of Picasso to regain the initiative, and the role of music in the art piece is the base for Music Block. My response to the art piece was creating a minimalistic game based around the idea that the player is playing as an artist/musician who's currently going under a lot of stress as well as going through a writer's block. Music Block is meant to be a simple platform where the player traverses the artist's dream world, created from lonely islands consisting of memories as well as the artist's passion. In the game, there is a sense of disembodiment, as if the character is floating around. This is through the use of slow movement, as well as being able to double jump and float to places. The area surrounding the play space is also covered in floating islands and objects that don't seem to act like they do in real life. I wanted the player to feel like they are in the character's dreams. This is also why the game is in first person, to just represent the idea that the player is the actual character. The minimalistic gameplay is also connecting back to the idea of cubism, as the style of art is very simplistic. If the player looks down, they can see the abyss. This is meant to represent the sense of dread that the artist is feeling if they are able to make a piece of music. This is also to add the sense of dread to the player themselves, as it makes them play carefully as they jump across platforms. If they fail, this can lead to the player dying if they fell. As the player moves around the islands, they can interact with flowers that are representing the artist's inspirations, as it's their favorite flower. As they interact with these flowers, the world around the player starts moving and changing. The more inspiration the player gains, the more lively the world becomes. The main thing that changes as the player gains inspiration is the music. Staying with the Cubist minimalistic style, I decided to use the score of Electric Counterpoint as the base of the music in my game. This song is a minimalist style that focuses on the use of one or two instruments to fill itself out. The use of looping melodies and alternating directions the music comes from is meant to represent the constant pressure that the artist is under when creating projects. The layering of the piece is to show how the piece of minimalistic music is usually made, similar to the way the art piece is made from multiple layers of paper. I decided to use the timeline and spline tool to create the movement in the game. This is the objects around the map, such as the musical notes, the boats, and the planes. The level design for the project was meant to represent the steady incline that an artist takes when creating a piece, starting from the baseline then leading to the middle part of the piece. The middle of the project is the highest point and can be the breaking point for a lot of artists, as they usually either stop due to lack of motivation or all out of inspiration. The first island the player starts off in is pretty empty, apart from bits of grass and some mushrooms. The two bridges connecting to this island lead to the next islands. The island on the left has an interaction which leads to the boat. This boat moves around every single island. This is meant to represent the artist's desire to achieve better and then be able to repeat the process again someday with less stress. The next island is a camping site. This is later on covered in a warm glow of the flames that's created. This is meant to represent the need and desire for relaxation for the artist in his quest to make a better piece of art. The next island has a plane. When the player picks up the flower, the plane starts flying around the map. This is meant to represent the player and the artist freeing their mind and reaching for the stars using the plane. The next island has a windmill. When this is activated, it starts spinning around. Other windmills around the map, such as the ones in the sky, start moving as well. This is meant to represent the artist and the player letting go of the worries, as well as showing the passage of time. After this, the progression of the level is a lot easier. This is because the islands are a lot lower than they were before. This is meant to represent the ending phases of the piece of art. On this island, musical notes are shown flying around the map, which is meant to represent the completion of the project. The music in the game is on repeat and has multiple layers put together to make the final piece. As you listen to the final piece, I will show you the blueprints that are behind the project. I will now show the blueprints and the music behind the game. I chose not to speak over this, as I did not want to talk over the final loop of the song. I wanted you to experience the full song with all the layers on. I do talk at the end about the ending of the game, so please enjoy. On the starting island, which is also the ending island, is a final flower, which is meant to represent the final piece of inspiration that the player needs to wake themselves up. When this final flower is picked up, a short video is played. This video shows the stress that artists feel under pressure. This is also meant to represent the overall pressure that students feel when creating a project. Sometimes they feel like the project is meant to be mechanically superior to others. In the end, I just want to create a piece of art that will show how our own art has its own strengths and weaknesses. This was also to show that the desire that Picasso had to gain the initiative was not necessary, as he was already a great artist.